I'm back! What's up guys, welcome to General Hospital MV, my GH after show. I'm so sorry I missed last week. I've had the worst cough and cold for like 2 weeks now, and my voice is still not fully healed, but it's healed enough that I can actually, form sentences. So let's get into last week's GH and this week's GH. So it truly killed me that I was so sick last week because I really wanted to talk about Nelle's scenes with Carly, like her final exit scenes, because they were so good. Laura Wright and Chloe play so well off of each other, so it was just so fun to watch when Carly walked into the PCPD and had her say with Nelle. Like, those scenes were so well written and so well acted that I was just in awe watching that the entire time. I love that Carly had her time with Nelle in that room. Like, it was so good. And then to top it off, Ava got Julian to hide the blanket back into the Quartermain mansion so that Michael and Sam could find it. They brought it to the PCPD, and when Nelle saw the blanket, she was just like, no. Like, she was so, destroyed in that moment. It was so fun to watch. Nelle knew it was over. Although I can't believe that Michael was still willing to help Nelle after all she did. Like, I would just let her rot. Oh, because you're the mother of my child. No! She's psycho. Let her rot in jail. Like, keep her there. Although I'm totally down to have Chloe come back as a new character because she's such a great actress. And what else is there to talk about? Kevin and Ryan. It has been confirmed. They were in the room at the same time. We saw Kevin, we saw Ryan. We're still not sure who was who. Like, this is why I'm so mad that I was sick, because so much good shit happened. Having said that, we didn't see anything else beyond them meeting in the room, even this week, so what gives? I need more. But I'm curious what you guys think. Do you think it's actually Ryan in the straitjacket, or do you think Kevin is actually in the straitjacket and that Ryan has been parading around as Kevin? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Personally, I'm hoping that it's Ryan in the straitjacket. Another cool thing that happened is that Finola Hughes returned into the role of Anna, we think. I don't know if it's just me, but something seems off with her, and I don't want to believe it's Alex again, but there's just something weird about Anna right now. Can't quite put my finger on it. Hopefully they didn't do the old bait and switch. But yeah, needless to say, not that we didn't know this, but Anna was kidnapped the entire time. And then Finn and Robert found out that she was kidnapped and set a trap so that Finn could get captured himself to find Anna. It turns out that the reason for all of this happening was that they want to bring Cassandra out of her coma. Honestly, not exciting for me. I was just kind of impartial to Cassandra. She could stay in that coma for all I care. Like, she wasn't that interesting of a character. Also last week, Kiki's court date had arrived and they were in court battling it out, and it continued on to this week, so we'll discuss that more in a bit. It was such a bizarre way to have this whole Kiki and Griffin sex thing come out because Franco accidentally sent a text to Ava, and Ava basically strong-armed Scott into asking the question if they slept together. And then this week was really the fallout, and we'll talk about that more in a bit. Something else that happened last week was that Cameron was recasted again. Now he's blonde. I mean, it is what it is. He doesn't look like Xander as much as the other guy did, but I actually don't know the reason for the recast. Maybe the actor wasn't available anymore and they had to quickly switch him. Whatever the reason, this guy's holding his own. And he's a little bit of a rebel. It looked like Jocelyn may have influenced him to shoplift. More on that later. Alright, now let's talk about this week. Like I said, Cassandra is the reason that Finn and Anna were being held hostage. They want Finn to help bring Cassandra out of her coma. And again, I don't really care, but this is the story. Meanwhile, Robert is trying to figure out who is actually running this operation, who is the one that captured Anna and Finn. He thought it was Valentine, and to be honest, I still think it was Valentine, even though Valentine convinced Robert that it wasn't him. I do think that Valentine is being strong-armed though, so whatever. Valentine Cassadine is still an asshole, just saying. Alright, so as I mentioned before, Cameron ended up shoplifting last week, and this week he got arrested for it, and conveniently, Elizabeth and Franco just happened to be at the PCPD, and Elizabeth was not happy. Me, on the other hand, I am living for this because it's so fitting that Cameron be such a rebel. I mean, Elizabeth was kind of a rebel herself as a teenager, so this is like karma on her end. Even Elizabeth's friend Terry had to have a good laugh at that one. Elizabeth was just so shocked by it though, because, Cameron was the one she never had to pay attention to. She was kind of like, I never have to pay attention to him, he's always good. And I'm like, you only ever pay attention to Jake. You don't know what Cameron's up to. Who knows what other trouble Cameron's gotten into after all these years. I mean, when you think about it, over the last 3 years, we've only really seen Jake. We've seen Cam and Aiden like a handful of times, but that's it. I, for one, am so looking forward to seeing Elizabeth react to a miniature version of herself. Now, Elizabeth did bring up to Carly that Jocelyn was with Cameron when he was caught shoplifting, and Carly found some clothes, or more so I guess Mike found some clothes, that were shoplifted. So Carly confronted Jocelyn, and it led to some pretty amazing scenes between the two ladies. Laura Wright and Etta McCoy play so well off of each other, so it's kind of nice to see these scenes, especially since Carly's been back. They've been so good. Those scenes between Carly and Jocelyn were probably my favorite scenes of the week, so kudos to you guys for rocking it out. The way Carly punished Jocelyn was perfect too, and Jocelyn was just grateful for Carly being back, which I loved. You know, she's like, yeah, I deserve this. I'm good with this punishment. It was cool. Alright, on to Kiki's court stuff. So like I said, Franco sent an accidental text message to Ava, and Ava strong-armed Scott into asking Griffin if he and Kiki slept together. Way to almost ruin your daughter's case, Ava. Keyword being almost. She did win the court case, thankfully. I am happy about it, and I'm actually really impressed that they are telling the story really realistically, in the sense that, yeah, he got fined, but he still has his job at the hospital. But at least Kiki made her voice heard, and it made a bit of a difference. Now, Griffin, on the other hand, he lost his job. He got suspended, not because of this whole Kiki situation, but because Ava wanted to take revenge. She brought proof that Griffin ran a DNA test and defied the rules of the hospital, and Monica suspended him for it. Ava, you petty, petty woman. Kiki and Ava actually had some really good scenes about confronting each other on the situation. I mean, Ava argued, but Kiki brought the knockout punch. Hell hath no fury on a woman scorned, though. Ava looks like she's about to go crazy, wreak havoc all throughout Port Charles. Something I was really excited that happened this week was that Kristina Davis returned to GH. I'm actually a huge fan of Lexi, and I know a lot of people don't feel the same way, but I respect her talent, and I really like the character. And it seems that they're going to have a character-driven story for herself as well in the works. We know that she's hiding something, because GH wouldn't be GH without Kristina hiding something. But she does admit that she feels like adrift, like her life's going nowhere, and she wants to find something for her to do. And I'm hoping that's where Valerie steps in, because we know she's returning to the show as well. Kristina actually had really great scenes with Sonny and Michael. Like, she needed to be there for her family, realistically, after all that's happened. I'm looking forward to her sharing scenes with Grandpa Mike as well. This is why I'm glad she's back. The family scenes always feel a bit jarring when Kristina isn't around or isn't mentioned. And this really kind of makes up for the fact that Dante is MIA. Let's hope they recast the character and bring him back. Alright, now can we just take a second to talk about the DA, Margo? She is out to get Sonny, which is typical of a DA in Port Charles. She is determined to bring him down by any means necessary, using Julian, trying to use Drew. Drew really stood his ground though, like when he figured out what she was trying to do, he was just like not having any of it. They shared a kiss. It was awkward. Not really feeling them as a couple. Now, as you guys know, Sonny is determined to buy Charlie's pub from Julian because Mike buried a body that Sonny once buried somewhere else underneath this bar. If you guys want to know my theory, I kind of believe that perhaps Margo's dad is the body buried under there. Her vendetta seems really personal. It just seems more than typical DA trying to take down the mob thing. Now, it's just a theory. I don't know if this is what it's going to lead to, but that's my guess. Julian's already trying to manipulate the situation with Mike and talk to him and get answers, but you know, Kim sees it and tries to stop him. You know how Kim always calls Julian Charlie? I feel like one of these days Mike is going to have an Alzheimer's episode while she calls him Charlie, and he's gonna freak out. It would be a pretty clever way to make this like pet name for him an actual, you know, segue into something else like this. So if you go there, kudos. Oh, it's hard to think of everything that happened this week. So, Donna Mills returned as Nina's mom. Maxie and Nina visited her at Pentonville and showed her pictures and videos of Nathan's son. She acted really grateful and apologized for all the harm that she had done on Nina. And it seemed like a beautiful moment until she mentioned that she would be under parole, and it would be great if Nina could tell the parole officers the same thing. You manipulated your daughter again, and she saw right through you. They walked out of there so fast. But then Valentine walked in just to question her. Judging by the previews, I have a feeling that they're gonna try to slip in that perhaps Nina did give birth to her child after all. I always did think that was a possibility, but I guess now it might come to fruition. If only to get Valentine and Nina back together, which like makes my head hurt. Just let her move on. Alright, last but not least, let's talk about Brad and Lucas. Their family threw a surprise party for Wiley. Brad and Lucas weren't too thrilled about it because they didn't want it to jinx the fact that they still have like 15 days of the 30 days left for the mom to call back and ask for her baby back. Julian was there as well, and he's noticing that the baby looks a little bit different from when he saw him last time. On top of that, Alexis had to sadly announce that Brad and Lucas's adopted baby's mom wants the baby back. It's too bad that it's not her actual baby. See, I called it. I kind of figured that this is where the story would go. I didn't think that this whole baby swap thing would last too long. Too many factors in there, you know? Looking forward to watching the drama unfold. Now, before I let you guys go, let's talk about Maurice Benard because he, Sonny Corinthos, is celebrating 25 years on the show. Congratulations, Maurice. You are so talented, and I figured, why not make my next GH Top 10 about the best Top 10 Sonny Corinthos moments? Let me know in the comments below what you'd like to see on that list, and I'll get right on it. And on that note, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm glad to be back. If you like this video, give it a big old thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel if you want to. I do these videos usually every Sunday, unless I'm sick with a sore throat. You know, those kind of things. And I will catch you guys next time.